Sick. And we are recording. Okay, so things I want to touch upon. Is there anything missing to on the DHF inflation change?
No, as far as I'm aware, I was planning on, I guess, just squashing the commits and merging it today.
Because Bartek mentioned a cleanup, but I'm not sure what he's
Yeah,
referring to.
he was thinking if we didn't squash it, but
Oh
you know,
yeah,
if
yeah.
we would,
I think I always click on the squash thing, but maybe I
yeah,
forgot.
I assumed it was the plan was to squash it, so
Okay,
not worried
nice.
about it.
I will send you how some instruction how to use PixUp commits and then use commit history much more clean and it looks much more professional way. We had in the past some guy which learned us that quite advanced techniques of using Git, and when I find back this movie, I will send you a link.
Okay, sounds good. Don't think I ever used it, so always interested to learn about it. Okay, what else do I have? Well, there is a whole discussion regarding the org tests thingy.
The what? Sorry.
The original tests, like the tests that had on the HiveMind, the JSON file that was served with like previous tests the from the era where HiveMind was served. HiveMind did not exist, and the APIs were served by Hive.
Yes, in my opinion, there is no sense right now to remove such files because they show some historical
Oh, I know
date
the
of that.
discussion.
But of course, if you are very sure that we want to just push a lot of changes to repository,
I,
that
I
I'm not opposite to that. For me, it makes much more sense to remove such files when we switch to new REST APIs in HiveMind.
yeah, I guess I'm actually on Hallow on this one. I think they're more confusing than helpful, and we can always get back to them if we need them. So yeah, I think we should just clean it up too, honestly. Uh, okay. Well, anything else? I guess if you had a chance to, did you ever get to hear back from on the Rosetta stuff?
Not really. They haven't been very responsive on this. So I've sent them more messages today, but I'm starting to wonder if the fact that they ask for Rosetta implementation is actually a way to deter people from actually integrating with them. But
They
yeah, as
are you saying they're slow because they don't want integration?
no, I mean that's more conspiracy stuff. But yeah, it's just been very slow developing. Though I know that there is some stuff that I need to do on that end. That's what I'm working on right now, because everything needs to be into one single Docker API. I mean, Docker file. So I need to bundle like half HiveMind, maybe not HiveMind. Actually, no, I don't think I need HiveMind. But yeah, I need to bundle a whole half API account history node and Hive and of course my REST API on top of it into one single Docker file. I'm not the best Docker guy, so that's taking some time.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on your end?
On my end, not really. I was looking into some problems regarding the release, but I don't know if you guys were working on it or not. I know that an issue had been filed on HiveMind regarding one query, so I forgot the name already.
Talk about list subscriber or a different one?
No, this subscriber should be fixed in theory.
Yeah, yeah. Which? I mean, there's one
Um,
that I know that we fixed already.
oh, maybe that's the one. I'm looking at the one closed. Uh, but yeah, basically, I was looking at some oh yeah, the paging that doesn't work on get ranked post communities. I just fell.
Yeah, that's already fixed.
Okay,
I
cool.
fixed it a while back. Okay.
Uh, but yeah, basically, I'm working on supporting the release and roll the test slowly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the Rosetta test is probably the highest priority
Yeah,
for
for
me
sure.
right now because I think we're pretty. I guess I'll start on my side. So we are getting ready to release yet another version, I guess whatever it is, .9. Um, so as far as the changes, there's a bunch of fixes to HiveMind. Well, not a bunch, a couple, I think 2 or 3. So they were kind of minor changes, really. I mean, one of them was the list subscribers, one we just talked about, and the other one was the ranking one with the pagination. And I found the pagination one, so apparently no one even noticed it. It's kind of surprising. It's been there for weeks, and no one actually reported it. But which does it makes me think, is it possible there's some other ones out there too? But one reports it that we can know about it. So, but a lot of actually the reason I didn't release last week, because all those fixes were actually put in last week, is while working on stuff, I found a couple more improvements we could make to HiveMind itself to make it faster. And so we've got HiveMind down to pretty good speed replay now. I mean, it's come a long ways. We're down to, on our fast machine, let me pull up the numbers. And so some of the tweaks were into the schema. We reduced some of the data that's stored in HiveMind, so the storage is a little bit less. We found some fields that weren't really necessary. They could be computed from other fields without having to store them. And that actually increases speed in a couple ways. But so now we're down to, on our fast machine, HiveMind is replaying in, where's the number? 1 day and 16 hours. So that's pretty incredible. Did I read that right? Let's see. Latest. I scrolled off and I had to find it again. I think that was really it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Speaking in terms of the API not behaving as we expected after the SQL changes, is there a plan to maybe do like basically I was thinking of doing this as a side project where basically I go on an old API node and collect a lot of requests, and then basically
we've done that.
You've done that?
We've
okay.
We have a system for doing that. That only works to the extent that we don't actually make a change that actually changes the responses. And so some of the changes we do actually make have changed the responses themselves. So,
oh, I see what you mean. Because I felt like the list subscriber issue would have been caught by something like this.
I don't know that it would have necessarily, because I think people rarely page to lists of subscribers.
Fair enough.
I mean, the same thing with paging on the one I found.
Yeah, the ranked post. Yeah.
Apparently, no one did that either. And I did that just normally as a user, but no one did it or even noticed it. So that's some of the problem. But yeah, so we didn't do it this time. We did it the previous release of HiveMind. I mean, the HiveMind, the release that's out there now, the official release. We did just what you said. We ran it, but we didn't do it this time because it's kind of already been done, so it didn't seem likely to. Plus, this time, a lot of the changes do result in change differences. Like the list subscribers change now, they're alphabetical instead of whatever the heck the random kind of thing it was before. Let's see. So other things, but yeah, it's a good idea. We thought of it already. We also really speeded up Balance Tracker, which indirectly also speeds up the Block Explorer, because the Block Explorer uses the Balance Tracker. So the Balance Tracker used to the Block Explorer used to take about a day to replay. Now on our fast machine, now it's down to 13 hours, so almost twice as fast. And Balance Tracker itself, I think, is maybe 3 times as fast. I think if I remember correctly, Bartek said they did it around 7 hours and something for a replay of just the Balance Tracker itself. But most typically, I expect people are going to use it in the Block Explorer configuration. Rep Tracker is down to 15 hours. That used to be a day, but we've still got more. We're still going to try to get a few more improvements into that. I think maybe in this release, but we'll see. I'm planning on releasing the new half version this week. That's why I'm not 100% sure if the speed up for Rep Tracker will get in or not. Let's see. So that's the half suite. Basically a lot of performance increases of various sorts. HiveMind, I think HiveMind and Balance Tracker / Block Explorer got the big ones. We also added a new a new tracking delegations, I think, in Balance Tracker, if I recall. Let's see. And I guess in other news, other than the half stuff, we're probably going to, we'll release a new version of HiveD along with that as part of the suite. So we'll tag that. And that'll include your change, of course, how we're fixing an issue that we had to manually update the OpenAPI version numbers for the various APIs. And I think that's going to get in the release, but we'll see. Otherwise, we'll just manually up those versions. Another thing that's been done is we've been working on decreasing the package sizing for Wax and for Beekeeper. So Beekeeper is quite a bit smaller now. It's a third of the size it was before. I mean, it was really big. It was like 9.3 megabytes. Now it's down to 3.3 megabytes. And Wax, we've cut Wax size in half, basically 10.2 down to 5.6. But we're still looking from possibly improving some more there, though, because 5.6 is still kind of big. There's been a lot of improvement on the Python side of Wax. It's now basically, I think, able to reasonably generate transactions. People can use it for that. Still work to be done there on the API side of things as far as making API calls in a friendly way. Let's see what else. That's probably the other on HiveMind. I guess the other thing I should mention is we've also made some speed improvements in the API calls, and a lot of that's what's driving that has been changes have been trying to further speed up that because in the end that's the most important thing is how fast we reply to API calls. And along with that, we've been tuning the stack itself. So I found some new tools that I've been using to analyze the running stack. There's one of them called PG Gather. It's quite nice for seeing some of the background stuff that you don't see easily, like how your vacuuming's performing and what's when your tables are using too much toast, that kind of thing. It's a lot of cool things. Setting your fill factors properly for your tables. So if anyone's trying to tune their database, I highly recommend taking a look at the PG Gather tool for your own app. Let's see, anything else I should mention? I guess so. After the release, the next thing we'll be focusing on is light accounts. So we restarted work on that again. That kind of got sidetracked by the release and other work. So we're going to be focusing on that as one of our next big pushes. And that'll also include changes to the signing inside HiveD. Anything else? What else? There's more, of course. I think we're getting closer to a Clive release. I've been tracking it lightly, and it seems like they're getting close to most of the features that I wanted as a first release. So I feel like we'll probably push that pretty soon, but I need to get back to it and test it myself. I don't know. Anything else you can think of, Bartek, that I missed?
Actually, I think most things have been covered. Maybe we should decide on hard fork date because it needs to be updated. Hard to say.
So we have to produce a new version to actually need to update it, right? I mean,
yes.
It won't actually do anything. So it won't trigger because we don't have a version that triggers it. So yeah.
Yes, and ideally we would want to have a version of 127 something, which complete features, and separate version that it's 128.0 that has everything.
And triggers.
Yes, just except it's with the version that hard forks.
Yeah.
For easy switch. So
I'm still a little bit torn. So the main thing, I mean, I think we could release with everything we got and when how it's changed. I still want to see if it's possible. I want to get an estimate on how long these changes to the signing are going to take and make a final decision. But we'll either release quite relatively soon, I guess within a month, or we'll push it out up to a couple months. And I'm going to get some feedback this week and then try to decide that. I guess the other tool is we're getting ready to release the Wax. I guess another thing is we're part of Wax. We have a new like health checker that's included in Wax, and then has a UI component. So we'll probably publish that, make that externally accessible soon, so people can check it out and give us feedback on how that UI component works. So probably the next couple of days, I'll post about that. So I guess that's about it for us right now. Anybody else like to go next? McFarhat?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. All right. So from our end, some updates on Block Explorer. So last update we mentioned we have a new view for row posts. So now we have integrated this all throughout the Block Explorer UI. So any post that is available as a permalink in the Block Explorer UI will actually lead you to a special page where you will see the raw JSON data of any post or a comment alongside all the relevant details, payouts, title, comments, replies, and everything. There were a few issues with this. We're fixing them. We just fixed the date tooltip, and there's an issue with payout values. We're just filing this issue right now as I'm speaking.
Always.
Another thing we did, we expanded the default date of search. There was a limit of, I think, 1,000 blocks for all the search by default. So we extended this to be 30 days instead of 1,000 blocks because based on Michael, what he mentioned to me is that the APIs can handle this easily now. With there was a recent change, I think.
Mhm.
So we expanded this by default so that we have for all user searches, they have 30 days by default, so that users can use this default value instead of just 1,000 blocks, which is really a very small amount of blocks to search across. We just added on the user profile, we just added a third tab. So now we have actually the user profile has 3 tabs, which allow the display of first operations, which was the default display for the user. So whatever operations they did. Now we also have comments, which allows the view of posts and comments for this user. And a third one, which is, we called it interactions. I'm not sure if it was changed or not yet, but this basically allows you to go to the specific interactions on a specific post or a comment. So if you want to see what's happening with a particular post or a comment, you click on it, it will take you to the third tab. Basically, the old comment search that we had on the landing page, now it allows you to just go or flip between the screens, so that if you find a comment or a post that you want to see what happened or the engagement, votes, comments, whatever, you just click on it and the screen will take you there, and you can see the details of the interaction of this particular comment or post. We've done a lot of enhancements to the landing page, UX, UI. Not sure if you guys noticed them, like edges, the display, the hovering, some cool effects we added on the hover, on the blocks. So yeah, hopefully these are useful from a UX and UI perspective. We also made changes to the operation type filtering pop-up. So it looks differently now. You can actually, you have a better layout. You can expand, collapse sections, filter by these sections, filter by operation you are trying to find. It used to be, I think, a bit not so easy to deal with. It had dual scroll bars and whatnot. So I think it looks much better now. What else? There was this discussion about the tooltip on vests for HP between Dan and Ho. I kind of relate to what Ho was mentioning, but yeah, I mean, I can see what Dan, your perspective. So we're looking into this. I was chatting to the dev today who's working on this. She's telling me she's trying to work on it. I remember a time ago, maybe we were pushing both the values of vests and HP from the back end. I don't know if that's a possibility, if that would actually be better instead of calculating the values on the fly. I was just having this debate with the developer today.
The only
What do you
downside,
think?
I mean, one of the things is that if it's truly a vest value, the Hive value is going to keep changing every block.
Yeah,
So every
true,
block is
true.
the value goes out of date. So it kind of depends a little bit if you're planning just to be a completely static page or if you want to be able to update the page. if you want to be able to update the page,
Yeah.
I think it's better to do it on the client side so that it's, you know, it can update
Yeah.
all those values without.
Yeah, we can do it like this. The reasoning, and we had discussion, is that I mean, we're thinking this is the HP value when the vest was created. Of course, it's gonna change. It's gonna update. So yeah, maybe it's more valid point to calculate it dynamically instead of receiving it from the backend. So yeah. I agree. Okay, so yeah, other than this, there were a lot of bug fixes. Even the pagination now looks way smoother visually. Let me see what else. I saw your note regarding the balance tracker. Yes, the dev is still working on it. It has taken him a lot of time, but he's promising me we'll get something soon.
Okay, so I would also suggest that he probably takes a look at the recent changes to balance tracker then, because I know that there were some improvements to the basic algorithms and used in the balance tracker, and they may impact that work as well.
Okay.
Like I said,
okay,
the
I'll
balance
ask him
tracker,
to-
just to put this in perspective, the balance tracker is 3 times faster now.
Yeah, I love that. I love
So it
I
could have,
love that.
I expect there was, I'm just thinking the changes might impact him as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'll ask him to update to refetch the latest version now. See if he can sync everything and double check his work.
Okay.
He's been working quite closely with Michael, so he's been helping out with the work.
Okay, so maybe he's already aware of it then. Okay, yeah. But
yeah, I'll double check
check.
either way.
Yeah. Okay, sounds
And
good.
that's really it from our side. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anyone else want to report anything?
Hey there, I'll jump in. Brian here. Just a couple of questions really about. I'm still looking at Wax. I'm staring at it right now. How, how far away are we from it being a sort of a library I can
So you're
get
talking
up
about
and running?
specifically for Python, right? Because
Yeah.
to clarify,
I'm a Python
I
man.
mean, we're going to release the Wax probably, this week.
Okay.
But the JavaScript version, but the
I-
Python.
I'll just tell you exactly what I'm like. I'm in the middle of rewriting my whole backend, and I've rewritten the way I talk to Lightning nodes using the proper protocol buffer stuff, which I think is what Wax is based on. This Google protobuf stuff. I'm looking for, and you tell me whether it's in there and coming.
Well, I don't think I'm not so sure that Wax uses protobuf in
Yes,
the sense
yes,
that
it has
It has-
operations defined as
Yeah.
protobuf stuff, just because share the same code and comments specific to
Let
operation
me-
definitions, and that's why we are using them. I hope we can provide some alpha version of Python Wax, maybe even this week, which you allow to build transaction, sign, and broadcast. So this
Well,
first
no,
version.
But I don't know
let
if
me-
that's what he needs. Let's
Let me
him
tell you what I
finish.
need.
Yeah.
More than that, because the building transactions, I don't do actually a lot of transactions.
Yeah, I guess that.
That I do. But the thing I want to write and have and show to people is the most efficient way to just watch the chain and pull out the transactions I want, the custom JSONs or the transactions, the sends. I just want a really efficient way to stream blocks, basically. All my code up to now, I've written in Python, and it's a real mess to do asynchronous stuff. And I'm really hoping that with Wax, I'll be able to write a nice block streamer that uses that doesn't fail when the API nodes go down and switches to other ones and all of that stuff. And I'm happy to put the time in doing that, but I want to build it on top of Wax rather than Beam or any of the old stuff.
So this sounds, I guess, Worker Bee. Is this?
Yes, Worker Bee is designed for that, but this is also JavaScript and TypeScript module, which is great in my opinion, and we also improved it lately, really a lot by defining quite quasi framework for asking and watching chain and supporting specific scenarios, what allows to create quite advanced bots by writing few lines of code. But We of course plan to do similar version for Python, but first we need to complete foundation of Wax in Python, and
Yeah.
then switch to Worker bee. So we are focusing on that, but that support is definitely not available in next I think
Okay.
months.
That's fine. But Workerbee I can go look at, and it's TypeScript, and it's
Yes,
built on Wax. Is that it?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
And
so
it's what you're looking for.
if I look at Workerbee, maybe I can even learn to use some. I think that there's a way to wrap TypeScript up in Python.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. It seems
I
quite
think
likely.
actually that's easy. I think there's
Yeah.
some libraries where I
I
can
think
just
it's worth
do
a
that.
shot. I honestly think that's worth a shot. Yeah.
And then later on, I could pull that out and drop in Python if as and
Yeah,
when
you
you've
could just
done
change
that.
to the Python version. Yeah, at that point. Yeah. That's
Okay,
probably a
so
good
what
flow.
Workerbee I will go look at myself properly.
Okay.
Yes, you are welcome.
Okay. Thanks very much. What else did I have to say? Not much. I'm just because I'm working in the background to try and decentralize my stuff so that it ties up with VSC when that comes along.
Gotcha.
And
I
this
think
is
their stuff is
part
heavily
of that.
TypeScript too.
Yeah, they are, but I had to learn JavaScript to do my front end, and I hate it. But if needs be, I'll just bite the. Anyway, everything's got easier since the AI came along. It's a lot easier.
Oh
to-
yeah. Just tell me what you want.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I guess that's it. I guess thanks everyone. See you next time.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.